Tactical wheel guns ain't dead, boys. Heck, in fact, they're making a hell of a comeback this year. What's up, everyone? This is your boy Sully from Line 45, and today we're going through the baddest tactical revolvers in 2025. You should seriously own as soon as possible. Before anything else, let me do this quick plug. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, all the buttons that you can see below. Don't forget to leave a comment too. I know it feels like a hassle, but those things help my channel a lot. Now let's get back to the good stuff. Taurus Raging Hunter 460. When you fire the Taurus Raging Hunter 460, it doesn't just feel like you're launching a round. It feels like you're launching a cannon with control. I've run this revolver at the bench and offhand with everything from heavy .460 S&W Magnum to .454 Cazul and even some .45 Colt loads, just to see how far down the power ladder it could go. What Taurus pulled off with this wheel gun isn't just brute strength, it's tactical refinement, and that's exactly why it earns its place as one of the best tactical revolvers for 2025. The first thing you notice is that massive 10.5-inch barrel, and it's not just for looks. It's housed in a two-piece assembly with a ported stainless steel core and an aluminum shroud keeping the weight balanced just enough to tame muzzle rise without turning it into a brick. But the real star here is Taurus's proprietary muzzle brake. It's a dual retention system, first of its kind, and locked down so tight it won't rotate under recoil. And yeah, it works. I felt at least 25% less muzzle flip compared to my older ported .460s. You can stay on target after each shot even when the loads get spicy. The fiber optic sights pop, bright green up front and red in the rear, and they're fast to pick up even against dark or brushy backgrounds. I've used them on hog hunts and steel at 50 yards, and I didn't feel like I needed an optic, though the top Picatinny rail gives you the option. For longer setups, I mounted a bipod straight to the bottom rail and ran some groups at 100 yards. Spoiler, it'll shoot tighter than most people expect from a revolver. The grip is Taurus's soft rubber insert design. It swells in the palm and soaks up punishment. Even after a few boxes of full power .460, my hand wasn't wrecked. Their double lockup system keeps the 5-round cylinder tight, and the timing never drifted, even after the recoil started pounding. Action is double action, single action. The double action pulls heavy but manageable, and the single action breaks clean just under 5 pounds. MSRP sits just below $1,200, and honestly, for this much firepower, with this much control, it's a solid deal. Next up, if you're looking for a compact tactical wheel gun that trades brute force for fast draw and street-ready versatility, let's break into the Ruger LCRX in .357 Magnum. Ruger LCRX .357 Magnum. There's something about the Ruger LCRX in .357 Magnum that just clicks when you're looking for a revolver you can actually run in a defensive situation, not just admire in a display case. I've carried one as a truck gun, trained with it as a backup, and even shot it against timers to see how fast and accurate it could really be. And for a compact, lightweight revolver, it punches way above its size class. In 2025, with all the polymer striker-fired buzz still going strong, the LCRX is one of the few tactical revolvers that holds its own in the defensive world. What makes it so effective is how purpose-built it feels. Ruger didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They just updated it with smart materials and clever engineering. The monolithic frame is built from 400 series stainless steel for strength, but the fire control housing is polymer, which chops down the weight without making it feel fragile. At just over 21 ounces, it rides easy in a belt holster, and I've even carried it OWB hiking without feeling like I was hauling bricks. The 3-inch barrel gives you better sight radius and ballistic performance than a snubby, but it still conceals better than most semis. And when you load it with a 357 Magnum, yeah, it barks. But thanks to the Hogue Tamor monogrip, it doesn't bite nearly as badly as you'd expect. That grip soaks up recoil better than anything else in its class, and the way it fills the palm makes it easier to get back on target fast. Trigger pull is where this gun really surprises people. Ruger's friction-reducing cam makes the double-action stroke smooth. None of that heavy stacking you get in cheaper revolvers. I've pulled through the trigger cleanly every time, and the exposed hammer lets me run it single action when I want precision. The cylinder is finished in PVD for durability and is fluted to keep the weight down, while still feeling solid under Magnum recoil. The pinned front ramp sight with a white bar picks up fast, and the adjustable black blade rear lets me dial it in for the loads I'm running. Its MSRP's around $850, and for what this gun offers in real-world defense, that's more than fair. But if you're ready to step into Magnum territory with a bit more muscle and a full steel frame, go check what's next. Chiappa Rhino 60DS Tactical. Chiappa's Rhino 60DS is the kind of revolver that messes with your expectations in the best way. The first time I ran it through a full box of hot .357 Magnum loads, I caught myself grinning halfway through the string. You expect a revolver that shoots Magnum rounds to buck twist and beat up your wrists. But this one shoots like it's got a built-in compensator, and that's all thanks to the low-bore axis design that fires from the bottom chamber. That mechanical trick alone makes the Rhino 60DS one of the best tactical revolvers you can run in 2025, no question. This isn't just about recoil control. It's about how the entire gun is built around that concept. The 6-inch barrel gives you impressive velocity and excellent sight radius, but it doesn't feel nose-heavy. The weight is right where it should be, and the balance makes it easy to shoot on the move, or from unconventional positions. I've used it in barricade drills, and it was fast to the in-fast to recover, and surprisingly easy to control even in double action. The aluminum alloy frame keeps it lighter than most full-size .357 revolvers, while the steel barrel and internals take the heat without flinching. The hex-shaped cylinder cuts some visual bulk and feels more natural to carry than a traditional round one. The fiber optic sights are set up perfectly. It's a green front and a red rear, and they pop in all lighting conditions. I didn't have to hunt for the front sight at all, even when I was coming out of a draw under time. The rubber grips are molded with just the right amount of texture and contour. No slip, no sting even with full power loads. And while the double action pull has a unique arc to it, it's smooth and manageable. The single action brake, though, is excellent, crisp, clean, and ideal for longer range shots. MSRP falls around $1 to $150, and for something that's this distinctive and practical, I think it's an incredible value. If you're into revolvers that push the envelope mechanically, the Rhino deserves your attention. But if you want to pivot from innovation to pure precision, with a combat-tested legacy behind every detail you need to see what Smith & Wesson brings to the table. Smith & Wesson Model 69 Combat Magnum. The first time I fired the Smith & Wesson Model 69 Combat Magnum, I honestly didn't expect a revolver this size to handle. 44 Magnum that well. I've shot the big end frames before, the 629s and such, and while they're tanks, they're not what I'd call tactical or quick on the draw. But the 69 actually changed that. Smith somehow packed .44 Magnum firepower into an L frame that actually feels compact and fast. Like something you could carry, deploy, and shoot under stress without compromising your hand or your accuracy. This thing rides that perfect middle ground. At just over 34 ounces, with a 2.75-inch stainless barrel, it's got enough weight to soak up the recoil, but not so much that it becomes a dead weight on your belt. I carried mine in an OWB holster on a wilderness hike, and it never once felt like it was dragging me down. The all-stainless steel frame gives it real-world toughness. It can take a beating, rain dirt range days, you name it, and it still locks up tight like day one. That ball detent cylinder lock, it's rock solid. Even when I ran full power 240 grain loads, the timing never hiccuped. What surprised me most was the recoil. I expected wrist punishment, especially with that shorter barrel, but the synthetic grip does a better job than I thought it would. It's firm enough to give you control, but cushioned just enough to keep the pain away. That lets you get back on target fast, which is key when you're dealing with a caliber like a .44 Magnum. And if you're running .44 Special 4 Defense, this thing becomes downright comfortable to shoot. Sights are old school and effective. A red ramp up front and an adjustable rear that holds zero no matter how hard you run it. The trigger's exactly what you want in a duty revolver, long and smooth, in double action, crisp, and predictable in single. I've used it for both fast combat style shooting and slow precise shots, and it delivers on both ends. With an MSRP floating around $900, the Model 69 Combat Magnum is hands down one of the best tactical Magnum revolvers out there today. But if you're looking to crank up the horsepower even further, next up is a snub that brings absolute devastation. Ruger Super Redhawk Alaskan shooting. The Ruger Super Redhawk Alaskan is a bit like stepping into the ring with a heavyweight. You feel the punch, but you also feel the control. I've run this revolver in both .44 Magnum and .454 Casole setups, and whether it was on the range or out in the thick brush, it never once gave me a reason to question its purpose. This thing was designed for real-world high-stakes encounters. Grizzlies in Alaska, sure, but also bad situations where you need compact stopping power without compromise. For 2025, it's still one of the most capable tactical revolvers out there. The first thing that stands out is how compact it is for the raw horsepower it delivers. You're looking at a 2.5-inch cold hammer forged barrel, a 6-round capacity, and a stainless steel frame that weighs in at 45 ounces. It's chunky, yeah, but it balances well. The triple locking cylinder setup, which is locking at the front, rear, and bottom, is what gives it that locked-in tank-like feel when you close it. I've slammed full-house Magnum loads through mine and never once worried about the timing or alignment walking off. This gun's overbuilt in the best possible way. The Hogue Tamer monogrip is not just window dressing. That internal cushion under the web of your hand actually works. Even with hot 300-grain .454 loads, it doesn't beat you up the way you'd expect. That means you're more likely to train with it, not just carry it. I've done full-day courses with this gun and still walked away with my hand in one piece. The sights are straightforward but effective. A replaceable ramp up front and an adjustable rear. Not fancy, but zeroed in and durable. They're dead on at defensive distances, and I've even reached out to 25 yards and rung steel consistently. The transfer bar safety system is another reason I trust it. You can carry all 6 rounds with the hammer down and not worry about anything going off unless you want it to. Yeah, it runs about $1.490, but when you hold this thing in your hand, you know exactly where that money went. It's not a novelty. It's a serious tool built for serious situations. Now, if precision is your game and you want a revolver that's been the gold standard for elite units, you will be eager to get the next revolver. I am about to show you. Smith & Wesson Performance Model 327 Tar. The Smith & Wesson Performance Center Model 327 Tar isn't just another big frame revolver with a few extras. It's one of the most purpose-built tactical revolvers I've ever worked with, and it earns every bit of its reputation in 2025. I've run this revolver in structured training environments from vehicle defense to barricade shooting, and it delivers the kind of control accuracy and speed that most folks don't usually associate with wheel guns. This isn't a heavy old-school boat anchor. The TR8 runs on an end-frame shear, but the scandium alloy frame cuts the weight down to just a little over 35 ounces. That weight savings doesn't come at the cost of durability either. It still handles full-house .357 Magnum loads with ease, and the 5-inch tension barrel, which is stainless steel shrouded and precisely fit, soaks up recoil like a champ. The balance is spot on. From the draw to the follow-through, the revolver tracks clean, and it doesn't feel front-heavy or sluggish, even when you're pushing fast transitions. Where the TR8 sets itself apart is in the Performance Center tuning. The trigger is where it shines. The double-action pull is long but silky, with no grit and no wall, and the break is predictable every time. Single action is crisp light and paired with an adjustable stop that shaves off unnecessary movement. That makes a difference when speed and accuracy need to coexist. With 8 rounds of .357 on tap and the cylinder cut for moon clips, reloads are quick, really quick. I've been able to run this faster than some folks can reload their autos. And there's something satisfying about punching 8 rounds of Magnum through steel and hearing every single one land with authority. It's also optics ready. That top rail handles red dots like the Trigicon SRO with no shift and zero, and the underbarrel rail lets you mount a light like a Surefire X300 or a compact WML for low light work. It's one of the few revolvers that genuinely feels adapted for a modern tactical role, not just retrofitted to play the part. With an MSRP of about $1,400, it's definitely a high-tier wheel gun. But you're not just buying a revolver. You're buying performance tuning modularity and true tactical utility in one badass package.